Welcome back, my name is LastKnownMeal, and today we have some crazy news about Piranha Bytes, the company that brought you Gothic, Risen and ELEX. And I expressed my admiration towards the Gothic series a lot in the past. Gothic 1 is my favorite RPG, and even with all its flaws, their newest title, ELEX, was a decent game. Now, just 3 days ago we found out that Piranha Bytes is bought by THQ Nordic, one of the biggest publishing companies right now. They actually published ELEX, and it seems that THQ does believe in this studio. Now, we don't know the terms that were written in the contract, but in a press release THQ Nordic said that the cost is the same as 3 years of what management's estimated royalty payments to Piranha Bytes for upcoming titles would have been, if the acquisition had not occurred. They also stated that Piranha Bytes will remain to work as an independent studio and continue to make RPGs, and this is definitely one of the most important things, is to stay independent. It also seems that they currently have 31 employees, so the studio so far is not that huge, and that's why it takes them so long to make another game. What we do expect right now is ELEX 2, which is something I kinda think will come out in 2020. So what does this mean? Well, working under a bigger publisher is always a gamble. We know how crazy those publishers can be, but at the same time THQ Nordic had some good games in the past 2 years, and everything that I had heard about THQ Nordic's relationship with other developers is that everyone is kinda happy under them and they don't have any specific problems. Also, this means more security for Piranha Bytes now that they are a part of this group. They're probably going to hire more people to work on their upcoming titles, and I'm guessing that the funding for the games will be a bit easier this time, and I really hope that they use this to make ELEX 2 good, because if they really work on everything that the previous game had, like all of the problems, and they actually polish those problems, they can create something which could be more popular and at the same time successful. Look, their games are great, but they have a lot of technical problems, and generally people either love them or hate them. There isn't anything in between. What they can do is create an amazing open world exploration. Their universes are always fun, and the combat usually in their games needs polishing to be appealing to more people, and most of their games come out as really difficult because they don't hold your hand. And also their quests, they need more twists and turns to make them really stand out. That is something that, in my opinion, ELEX didn't have. For example, like in their previous games, like in Gothic 1 and 2, the writing was okay. I mean, the story and the universe is very well done. It's you know, it's engaging. I want to know what happens next, but you know, quests can be repetitive from time to time, and that is something I kind of want him to avoid for ELEX 2. And now the number one question asked now, what does this mean for Gothic? Well, now that the studio was purchased, everyone, you know, is like screaming, are we getting a new Gothic game? Can we finally get it? Now look, I want a new Gothic game as much as anyone here. I played the previous games like crazy. But this doesn't necessarily mean that the new Gothic game is coming out. First of all, they did mention that they are afraid to create a new game because Gothic was so popular and actually good. And imagine creating a new Gothic game which is going to be better than anything else they've done, and at the same time they're not a huge company, so it's a bit of a problem. That creating a new Gothic game means risking a lot, because people might not like it, and if the game doesn't go well with people, it doesn't sell, they're gonna have a lot of problems in the studio. So that's a risk Piranha Bytes would take if they have the resources to actually do it properly. And don't get me wrong, I do want them to create a new Gothic game, but I want them to do it properly with decent funding, so that in the end we get something which is good, not something that is rushed and just out because people want it. And yes, people will buy it, that's all good, but it's not about the sales as much as it is with how do we create a good game, not a mediocre one. Because even, you know, if it sells and the game isn't good, they're gonna have a lot of problems on their next game because people are not going to, you know, easily invest their money in it. Because if they were burned once, they're not going to do it a second time. So that's why their games, in my opinion, need more time and need more polishing to really stand out and appeal to new players, not just the old ones. So look, ELEX 2 is going to be that test. I really want to see if Piranha Bytes can learn from their mistakes and give us the games we deserve. They know how to make RPGs, they just need to work on the things that, pull them back. I know that means money and time, but remember, it's better to work on a game longer and make it good, rather than to just release something for the sake of releasing and, keeping the studio as it is. I know that sometimes it can be a gamble, because if you don't release new games, you're not getting any income. But if you really want to stand out with your next game and sell it, make it good. As simple as that. Now, long story short, no news about Gothic have been released. There has been nothing about Gothic, so if you do read somewhere, Gothic is in development, it's not. It's simple as that. I'm sorry that I have to say it, but it's not. But I'm looking forward to ELEX 2. And when you say, well, what if Gothic releases? Yes, the chances of that happening now that they're purchased are higher, and with the right funding, I believe they can pull it off. But without it, forget about it. But hey, that is everything we know so far. It does seem that they're excited about this, at least that's what Piranha is showing right now. But again, don't forget to tell me down below what you think about this, and also smash that like and subscribe button for more ELEX and Gothic news. And also join my amazing community on Twitter and Discord. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.